What's up, guys? Welcome back to Reddit Confession series, where people spill the tea on their deepest, darkest, and sometimes funniest secrets. Kick back, relax, and let's see what confessions Reddit has for us today. I knocked a homeless guy unconscious because he tried to take my latte. Nobody will ever know but me. I started a new job just over a year ago. I work 7 to 3 most days, and I don't own a car, so I usually walk from my apartment to my place of work. The walk to work is mostly on main streets, but there is one alleyway that I take to make the walk to 5 shorter. Next to this alley is a coffee shop. My city has a noticeable homeless population, and there are some people who hang out along the streets asking for food, money, etc. They are mostly harmless. They don't get in people's way or harass anyone, as far as I know. But there is one guy, we'll call him Bob for simplicity, who hangs out outside of the coffee shop most days, waiting for someone to buy him a coffee. For years, I've been in the habit of treating myself to an iced latte every Friday. So, on my first Friday on the job, I naively bought this man a coffee when he asked me to, not realizing the big mistake I made. I bought him an 8 ounces hot black coffee, the cheapest item on the menu, and myself my usual 20 ounces latte. When I exited the coffee shop, before I could hand Bob his drink, he snatched my drink and walked off before I could blink. From that day on, every time I passed the coffee shop, Bob would catcall me and yell at me to buy him a coffee. Occasionally, he would even follow me down the alley and try to take my belongings. I felt very threatened, because that early in the morning there weren't many people around on the street, which I think is why he did it. When I passed that place in the evening, he usually didn't say anything, as more people were around. Usually, Bob was completely harmless, but he followed me down the alley more than a few times, occasionally trying to take my belongings or my latte. About a month after I started my new job, I bought my latte and walked down the alley. Bob followed me down the alley, only this time he managed to get really close to me and reached out to snatch the latte from my hand. Before I could think, my other hand hit his jaw. The thing is, I'm a pretty big girl, 5'11" and 155 pounds. I run and lift weights, so I'm athletic too. I've never hit someone outside a classroom setting, but I have some martial arts experience, so I know the knockout points and can throw a good punch. I once knocked out a strong 280 pounds man on accident during a class, so it was no surprise that this guy went out cold, hitting the side of a building on his way down. I think I saw blood on his face, but I'm not sure, because I kept walking. Nobody saw. There were no windows facing the alley, and we were far from the main roads. Since it was just past 6 a.m., not many people were out, even on the main roads. My actions that day were rash, and I am in no way suggesting anyone do something similar because you never know who is watching. That said, I haven't seen this guy anywhere near the coffee shop. I highly doubt that I killed him, but I think I scared him off. I'm not sure how crime investigation stuff works, but it's been a year and I've heard nothing. As far as the world knows, I am innocent, and I plan on taking this secret with me to the grave. Update. After reading some comments, I want to respond to some common threads. 1. Since the incident, I have stopped taking the shortcut to work, and instead take the main roads. An extra 5 isn't worth getting robbed, lol. There is usually at least somebody on those roads who will see if someone tries anything, and the buildings all have windows. I've also invested in pepper gel, since it's better for temporarily disabling an assailant rather than permanently injuring them. In general, this incident has made me a lot more cautious and aware of my surroundings. So far, an incident like this has not happened again. 2. A bunch of people are saying this post is fake because there's no way someone as small as me can knock out a 280 pounds man? Have y'all never seen a 5'11", 155 pounds woman? I would attach a photo of myself if I could. That would defeat the whole point of anonymity. But if you want a reference for what I look like, I have a similar body to Katie Ledecky. We are almost the same height and weight, and she is not small. I can bench my body weight and deadlift more than double my body weight. Also, if you know anything about pressure point theory, you know that no amount of muscle or size will protect someone if you hit certain points straight on. When I knocked out the 280 pounds man, he was standing perfectly still, right in front of me. I was being directed where to hit by my instructor, and I put too much power behind it and knocked him out. It's hard to hit the points correctly in real time unless you have lots of experience. I have 2.5 years of experience. But Bob was a lot more frail than that guy, so he was easier to knock out even if I didn't hit the point on his jaw perfectly. I lied to get my current job and it pays really well. I, 3'8" female, lied on my resume to land a job I wasn't qualified for. The initial interview went smoother than expected. My fabricated qualifications seemed to impress them. Before I knew it, I was advancing to the next round. The job offer came, and I accepted, despite the sinking feeling in my gut. As I stepped into the role, reality hit me hard. I was drowning in tasks I had no idea how to handle. Panic set in as I struggled to keep up with the demands of the job. I sought help online, connecting with others in similar positions who generously shared their expertise. Day by day, I learned the ropes through trial and error. Slowly, I started to grasp the intricacies of the job. The feeling of being overshadowed began to fade as my confidence grew. I persevered, determined to prove myself worthy of the position. 15 years have passed since that fateful decision. I am now a master at my job, a testament to resilience and hard work. The lie that got me in the door has transformed into a success story of perseverance and growth. A part of me is very proud of what I've been able to accomplish, while the other side is disgusted with me for cutting corners. I've never told anyone besides my husband, and he even told me he doesn't believe I really did that. Edit. I'm a senior fraud analyst now. Started off in collections and insurance disputes. Edit 2. I used a computer and pressed tab when typing this post originally. The scroll bar reading format is now fixed. I often replace my alcoholic drinks with water, without telling the people I'm drinking with. I am 25 female. I go out pretty often, whether it be with my friends, husband, or family. In college, I drank heavily every weekend. My tolerance became pretty high, and then I started dating a guy that would drink way too much every night, so I started being the sober one so I could drive us home each night. Fast forward 3 to 4 years, I'm married to a different guy who drinks responsibly, and I still have replaced maybe 90% of my drinks with water, or just straight up didn't add alcohol to my drinks, but said I did to not get questions and to feel more included. The people I drink with don't know this. Last night my husband asked me to pour 2 shots of vodka, but I poured one and put water in my cup. We cheersed and drank them. Then he wanted a mixed drink, so I made vodka sodas. Except mine was just soda. Another time, I was on our friend's boat, and they were all plastered. They were handing me White Claw after White Claw, and I would sip on it here and there, but when no one was looking, I would pour mine out into the water every so often so it looked like I was drinking them. I don't really know why I do this to the extent I do. I feel safe with the people I'm around. I just like being clear-minded. Drinking and feeling fuzzy is unsettling to me. When I go out, especially if it's loud inside the bar, I'll quietly order with the bartender a Diet Coke or Sprite, then tell people it's a Jack and Coke or vodka Sprite. I also don't want to be the girl who never lets loose and has a good time. I had my fun in college, and I like to know I can get everyone home safe by the end of the night. Feels good to finally say something. Thanks for reading. Edit for more details. I don't say I am having alcohol unless people ask. I don't brag around saying I am drinking when I'm not. If people assume I am, then great. If they ask, I just say it's something alcoholic. I also only do this for a couple of drinks, then actually just say, I'm sobering up when I order a 3rd, 4th, so people know I'm not getting hammered. The people I am around now don't drink a ton, but they do drink enough to need a ride every once in a while. The cost of a White Claw when you buy them in bulk is like $5. No, I don't feel bad for fake drinking 3 to 4 White Claws and dumping them out. Whether I drank them or not, they still spent the money on them. Or we did. Usually the cost of food drinks is split when we have a riverboat party. Having 20-something people asking why you're not drinking is exhausting and annoying. This was one instance I just used as an example. Last thing, I will genuinely have a glass of wine or a mixed drink here and there. I'm not completely sober all the time. I just don't drink a lot, that's all. I went to the doctor today and paid with cash. I'm pregnant. I'm 17 and pregnant. I don't know who the dad is. I went to a party a few weeks ago, 8 to be exact. My best friend begged me to go with her, saying that I was being too stuck up. I've never been to a party before, mainly focusing on my clubs and work, and her words struck a chord with me, so I went. We were dancing together, drinking alcohol. I'm used to light drinking, since my parents introduced me and my siblings to it around 16 to 17, depending on how outgoing their kid is. It's a safety precaution of, hey, this is what it's going to feel like. Don't go bumbling around the streets like this. Not to say that they let us drink every day. The most we get is a light buzz under their counsel, and we only get that on special occasions. That might have been unnecessary info, but I'm a mess right now, and the only reason I have any grammar is because I'm typing this on my phone. Anyway, I started getting drunker and drunker, and my friend peeled away from me at one point, and this guy slid up to me. I can't remember what we talked about, but he was kinda cute, and I know that I danced with him at one point. The rest of it's a fucking blur. I can't remember anything else. I woke up naked with him in the guest room, and that's about it. My friend told me later that I told her that I found a hot guy and to not look for me or some shit like that. When I spoke to him, he said, yeah, we had sex. Asked if we used a condom, and he said he thinks we did. He ends up dropping the bomb that he has a girlfriend, and to not mention this to her? I'm hangover and so confused, and I just had sex with someone for the 3rd time in my life and can't remember shit, so I just left after I got my clothes back on. I missed my period, felt different. It's hard to explain, but I felt so weird. No morning sickness or anything that the articles say, but just an awkward feeling. I thought it was just stress from work, or maybe getting sick. My periods are normally very punctual. They start early in the month and end 3 days in. I did not get my period for 8 fucking weeks and thought it was stress. I'm such a fucking idiot. Like, how did I not see any signs or some shit? Then, I thought about it all. I decided that I didn't want to use a store-bought test because the ones in the stores around where I live aren't very good. I've heard of a lot of people buying them and the test saying they're pregnant when they're actually not. So, today, I went to the doctor and didn't use any insurance so that my parents didn't get any notifications or some shit. I don't know how that works, but I didn't want to take any chances, and I explained to him everything, and he told me that they'd test me. Surprise, surprise. I've got a baby in my uterus. What the f am I supposed to do? I'm sitting in my car, and I was scrolling on Reddit because I'm chronically online and saw the confession board, and I just needed to tell someone. Anyone. So, I went this account, and here I am. I don't know if I make sense anymore, because nothing does. I'm pregnant, and I'm 17, and I don't even know the guy's name, but I'm pregnant with his kid, and he has a GF apparently. And I'm pissed off that my friend let me go somewhere with a guy, and I'm so angry that I can't remember anything. If anyone has advice or anything, I'm gonna be in my car for a little while longer. I don't think I'm going to abort, mainly because I know that if my parents get pissed off, they'll still support their grandchild no matter what. And it isn't the baby's fault that their mommy is such a dumbass when she gets blackout drunk apparently. Sorry for this being so long. I just don't know anything anymore. Edit. I've been reading and commenting, and yeah, you guys are really awesome, genuinely. This helps a lot with working out my thoughts. To those of you saying to abort, I completely understand that, but I don't think I want to. About school, I'm more than willing to graduate early. I have enough credits. My friend's social life overall was shitty. The friend I told you about with the party and shit was pretty much my only person I talked to. Adoption-wise, I think I'll look into that. I think I'm being way too optimistic about the idea of taking care of a kid. I just don't know. I feel like sobbing, but I feel like doing nothing at all. I didn't get tested for anything transmitted, but now that you guys brought that up, I'll definitely schedule something because holy shit, I didn't even think about that. I have to go home. If I stay out any longer, then they'll get worried, and I think I'll talk to my parents then. I'm sorry for bringing this to Reddit and shit, and I know I'm stupid about my choices and reasoning, but I just wanted to get all the shit off my chest. Thank you guys again. I may or may not continue to reply. If not, then I'm driving back home. And that's it for today's Reddit confessions. Some of those were absolutely wild. I'm still processing a few of them. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you want more confession videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.